Hello and welcome to this weather update. It is about 9:30 on April 8th, 2019, and what a day it was today with the heat. And even on the South Shore during the afternoon, it was not all that great. Even there, I was sweating a little bit. It was in the mid and upper 60s, but it was humid, and there wasn't a lot of wind. And the reason why is because we had a kind of a westerly flow, but despite that westerly flow, Long Island, for the most part, still wasn't involved in the worst of it. So we're going to go over some of the high temperatures today. I put together this map, and we'll start off at Farmingdale, where it hit 70. Islip hit 70, and then as you head further east, you can see the temperatures are much lower. Only 63 at Brookhaven Airport, and only 60 at West Hampton, and even Bridgeport only 61. But as we head west, White Plains, the high of 75. That's pretty much what represents what most of the middle of the island had to deal with in the western parts, particularly central Nassau and the North Shore. So we were in the mid 70s. It was quite warm and humid outside. 79 it hit at LaGuardia, and here this tells the tale between LaGuardia, 11-degree difference. 79 at LaGuardia, but it hit 68 at JFK. Central Park got up to 79, so just shy of 80 degrees, but almost everywhere in Jersey hit 80. Teterboro Airport hit 80. Newark Airport hit 80. I don't have it on the map, but the Somerville Airport hit 80, and Monmouth Airport hit 80. Toms River at the Ocean County Airport, that was the hottest reading of 81, and 80 at McGuire Air Force Base. So quite a hot day in Jersey, and the heat is still going, but for us, we have some relief. So let's take a look and see. I'll show you what's currently going on right now. And we have a backdoor front that has passed by. Across that is in the process of passing through very slowly across Long Island. Most of Suffolk County is in it, and it's making its way into Nassau County now, where the temperatures are dropping through the 50s. And you could sort of see where the backdoor front is. You can see the east flow here, the northeast flow where it's cooler, and then as you go to the west, over the city and toward New Jersey, it's still quite warm. In fact, it's still in the 70s in New Jersey. We can take a look at one of those readings right now. 73 still at Monmouth County Airport, still 73 degrees at this hour at night. And we look at it, but look at LaGuardia. The temperature is 51, so the backdoor front is definitely past LaGuardia. And we could take a look and see how fast that it actually went from 77 degrees to 56 degrees in 1 hour. And you can see the wind shift here. If I move this over, it was west, and then it went to the northeast. So the temperatures really dropped, and so did the humidity along the dew points dropped into the 40s. So much more relief. And here it is at 52 at Farmingdale, and we'll look again here at the. So it hit. So you could see the drop at Farmingdale. Maybe not quite dramatic, but it went from 61 to 52 as this backdoor front moved through. And you can see here, this Ventus sky I think is lagging a little bit because I think temperatures are a little lower than this. But this is the backdoor front slowly, and I mean slowly. These backdoor fronts, they move very slowly. If you're further out east in Suffolk, I'm sure it's even cooler than it is here right now. So let's take a look at some weather stations in our area, track the progress of this backdoor front here, and see when the relief is going to arrive for New Jersey. So you can see in the northern and eastern parts of the county, it's already only in the 40s. But in Mineola, we're still in the mid-50s. And even the South Shore is actually, this is one example where the North Shore is actually cooler than the South Shore because the backdoor front is coming from the northeast. So it's much cooler on the North Shore right now in Huntington than it is in Babylon. So it's in the mid-40s there, while Babylon is in the mid-50s. So this is one of those unusual circumstances. That's the way backdoor fronts are. And you can see it's in the 40s out east. Temperatures dropped into the 40s out there. And basically this backdoor front is trying to work against the westerly flow. That horrible westerly flow that we had today that just killed us. It's making progress. So temperatures will continue to drop. We will look at the models. And like I said, even LaGuardia has the backdoor front through. I think the backdoor front is somewhere right over here. So yeah, the Ventus sky actually does show it up pretty nicely. Backdoor front is right. It's draped from a line, I would say, from maybe Massapequa through along the southern state, then up cutting across northeast Queens, and into the Bronx, and then into Westchester. So this is where the backdoor front is, right here. Right, anywhere west of this, though, it's gonna be worse. But the backdoor front is right in here. and maybe I can draw it out for you in the next part of this video. So you see what it's like out on the east end here. So really enjoying some nice mid-40s out in mid-Suffolk County in the Pine Barrens there. But if we go to the other Pine Barrens in New Jersey, it's still brutal there. So we're still talking temperatures near 70 degrees around Toms River and in the New Jersey Pine Barrens. Very warm. They're holding on to the heat because, again, the backdoor front hasn't moved through. They're literally stifling in this warm air mass that has come from up all the way up from Florida. And Staten Island is still warm too. 70 degrees. It's 9:30 at night, and it's 70 degrees. It should not be this warm at night in April. It should not be this warm. So we're going to actually pull out on this. We're going to actually pull out here and just show you where the warm air is coming from. So let me just zoom this out a little bit so you can see where it's coming from. And you can see the warmth is coming all the way from, look at that, all the way from Florida. See the heat? Actually, the heat, much of the country is involved in heat. You can see, look at the following the hours. You can see that the heat has come all the way up from the tropics. You can see all this warm air that's just inundated the country here right now. And it's quite abnormal to see. If we look at the humidity, you'll see the dew points, too, being on the high side as well. Now, behind the backdoor front, the dew points do drop. But over here, I mean, you're talking dew points in the 50s and 60s, which is quite humid for April and highly abnormal. So I want to draw out where the backdoor front is on this map so I can show you what's going on right now across our area. So let's go ahead and draw this on the map. So it's right over here. Generally, you can see right over here, generally speaking. All right, so this is the backdoor front. All right, moving through. Again, this is what they look like. And it's slowly moving. It's really slow. This is really almost considered a stationary front, but it is on the move, and it will be moving southwestward. It's brought us relief here on Long Island, and it should be hopefully getting to you folks in Jersey probably by midnight. So let's go back and look at the models and see how they're going to handle this backdoor front. And actually, we're going to go and look at the NAM model first, because that NAM is a more higher resolution model. So we can take a look, and you can actually see there's actually some heavy thunderstorms actually in the south. We're not talking about that because that's not really affecting our area. It's mainly more in the mid-Atlantic, but again, with such warm, humid air, you're going to get this kind of activity. We're looking at the temperatures. So the backdoor front should show up very nicely on here, and it does. So here you go. Long Island is in the 50s, but it's blazing in Jersey. So let's move this along right now. This is at 8 o'clock. And we're going to move this along here as we approach midnight. And you can see the cool air slowly make its way into New Jersey and cool off New Jersey as we head into the overnight. And then for tomorrow, it's going to be a much cooler day across the island. Highs only in the mid-40s, perhaps. May not even hit 50 with its backdoor front, the northeast flow. And the heat is pretty much suppressed to maybe western, anywhere that's, I would say, I think Ocean County will be okay. But as you head southwest with Burlington County, and southwest from there could still be a little warm because the backdoor fronts don't keep moving. They eventually stop, and so it has stopped right over there. So, but it should bring most of New Jersey and Long Island relief from the heat. And then as we go into Wednesday, we should have a nice day on tap for us. So that is really something though to see. So let's go and look at let's move this over to the precipitation and see when our next chances for precipitation are as we head into tomorrow. So again, you could see that area of showers maybe it nicks southern New Jersey, maybe. I'll have to look at the radar, but it looks like that misses us. And then for Tuesday, it's dry, but it's like I said, it's going to be kind of chilly and kind of, maybe a little raw feeling. And then this cold front moves through with widely scattered showers and possibly a thunderstorm. I doubt they'll be with the cool air. I doubt that it will really hamper any convection. And this is the actual main cold front that will come through tomorrow night. I would say anywhere between 5 and 8 o'clock. And then after that, we should have some nice weather. And it might actually be clear on Wednesday. We're going to look at the sky cover, a total cloud fraction, and see if we can get a clear day. Obviously tomorrow is not going to be clear. We're going to have clouds with that northeast flow, but it looks like by Wednesday we get rid of the clouds, and hopefully we get some sunny skies, so that'll be good. And I could shift over to the GFS, which I will do right now, and we can look at that, because I usually use that one for the clouds, and it also gives us a clear day on Wednesday as well. But then the clouds roll right back in on us for Thursday, and then we're going to be dealing with lots of clouds again. And maybe we get a break on Saturday. So let's go and look at the temperatures on the GFS. And you can see here, as we go into the night, you can see there's that backdoor front coming through. And eventually it'll get to you guys in New Jersey. Actually, this model's a little different now. See, now it's a little different. This model doesn't have the backdoor front getting as far. It only has it getting as far as Long Island, and New Jersey might still bake. So, you know, hopefully New Jersey doesn't bake, and generally these backdoor fronts are underestimated. But it's a tricky forecast to exactly how far that backdoor front is going to make it. The GFS does not have it getting that far, and it has New Jersey still stifling tomorrow in the 70s. And then we cool off for Wednesday. So, and then for the rest of the week, it's a little on the cool side. So the GFS, because you got to remember the NAM does have a cold bias. So you got to remember that. So we'll have to see what happens for tomorrow. You know, the GFS has us in the 50s to around 60 for Long Island, but it will be cooler for us here on Long Island. That's the key. It will be cooler. But for the folks in Jersey, it's going to be rough. Well, let's see what the Ventus sky has for tomorrow. I'll put this back up to temperature, and we'll see what they look like. So I'll move this up to, and actually you could track the progress of the backdoor front. If I bring this back a little bit to 6 p.m. or 5 p.m., you should see the backdoor front, and it still hasn't really made it through yet. And then at 6, it started making it through, started approaching. We'll move it all a little more over to 7, and you can see it's starting to approach here, Suffolk County, and then finally move through around 8. So let's see what this has us around 11 o'clock tonight. Let's see. Yeah, it's pushing the backdoor front through all of Long Island by 11. So let's go. I'm thinking the backdoor front should, yeah, I think Long Island is fairly safe. New York City, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's see what it has for tomorrow at noon. So it has Long Island in the cool. New York City probably be warmer, but it's still not too bad. I don't think it'll be too warm in the city. I think the east flow will win out, and Long Island should be probably around 50 degrees, I'm thinking, for a high. For Jersey, though, here's the thing. Along the shore, it looks like it does have a cooler, but if you go inland, it heats up pretty quickly. So the front could be stuck right over Toms River. So, yeah, Jersey is not really, you know, that's another thing that sucks about Jersey. It's just, it's a hot place. It's a much hotter place than Long Island. So that's why I don't want to have to wind up ever really winding up having to live here. You know, I would try, if God forbid the middle goes, I'd sue my way to the South Shore, try to live there before ever having to have to go down here. Because let's face it, I die in the heat. I mean, I'm gonna die in the desert, and then the turkey vultures are gonna pick what's left of me. But maybe that's what the snobs want. Not gonna. They want to get rid of me, but you know what? I ain't going anywhere. So that's gonna wrap up this video. Stay cool if you're in Jersey. Just keep the AC on. If you're on Long Island, you can breathe a sigh of relief tonight as the backdoor front comes through and saves us from this really unusual April heat.